Consult a physician before performing this or any exercise program. This is especially important for people with medical conditions like high blood pressure, heart disease, and diabetes. It is your responsibility to evaluate your own medical and physical condition and to determine whether to perform or adapt any of the exercises in this program. If you have symptoms like weakness, lightheadedness or dizziness, chest pain or pressure, nausea, or shortness of breath, stop and consult your healthcare provider. The audio content of the exercise programs is copyrighted. Reproduction in any format or medium is prohibited unless you receive written permission from BlindAlive, LLC.
Hey guys, welcome to Barre Method Level 1. I'm Jennifer Kern, certified in Pilates, yoga, barre, among other fitness practices. I'm also a holistic health coach and founder of JenniferLynnKern.com. Barre workouts have become quite popular over the last few years. Students who attend 2 to 4 classes per week are seeing results in as little as 1 month's time. That's pretty impressive. Some of the benefits are better posture, a stronger core, a lifted backside, and increased flexibility in the hips. Your first class is going to be tough, and you may feel pretty sore the next day. But if you stay committed to this practice, I promise you, it'll get better and it will be worth it. So what is barre? Barre is the combination of dance, Pilates, and functional movement training, choreographed to fun, energetic music. Most of the movements in barre are teeny tiny. You may hear me say things like pulse or up an inch, down an inch. These small movements are designed to exhaust big muscle groups. Once they hit that point of fatigue and you work past it, we're forcing the muscle to tone. You may even feel your legs start to shake uncontrollably. A, don't panic. This means they are working hard and changing. B, stay in the shake and embrace the work. You'll find a newfound sense of mental strength by embracing this challenge. This barre class is designed for the beginner, new to the barre method. We will go at a slower tempo and speak about proper position and alignment in great detail. Let's go ahead and get started. For class today, you're going to need a sturdy surface to act as your barre. I recommend the edge of a counter or bedpost or sturdy chair. So there's no confusion, throughout class I'll be referencing your sturdy surface of choice as your barre. You'll also need a fitness mat if you find working out on a regular floor surface to be uncomfortable, and small hand weights, either 1, 2, or 3 pounds. If you don't have small hand weights, you can use nothing at all, or if you're a go big or go home kind of person, I would go no heavier than 5 pounds. Alrighty, go ahead and find yourself in the middle of your workout space where you have room to move around. For warm-up today, we're going to squat, step tap, and march. But first, let's come into our bodies with a little bit of breathing. So go ahead and just take your feet to squeeze together, toes are forward, you're in a parallel position. Just start to deepen your breath. Find a huge inhale, expanding the ribs. Then exhale, feel the ribs contract, your waistline draw in, your navel draw up and in. Very nice. Take another huge inhale again, expanding the back and the sides of the ribs so they go outwards. Then exhale, feel that contraction of the center of the body. Final one, a huge inhale, taking your awareness to what's going on internally in the body today, and a huge exhale to let any tension go and prepare your body to work. Very nice. We'll start to roll the shoulders up towards our ears and then draw the shoulder blades down our back. You can keep going with this. An inhale to lift the shoulders and exhale to draw them down. Inhale, lift, and exhale, roll them down your back, feeling the chest open, expand. Let's take a couple more here. And back, final one, great big inhale to lift the shoulders, exhale, draw them down. Very nice. Now that we're present in our bodies, let's go ahead and find our first position. And go figure, it's called first position. To find it, imagine that you're standing on a clock face and your toes are pointing right at 12 o'clock. Now go ahead and rock onto your heels. Feel your toes now open so the left toe goes to about 10 o'clock, the right toe goes to about 2 o'clock. You should feel your feet in kind of a V shape here. This is your first position, or a narrow V at the foot. Even though it's only your feet we've talked about, this external rotation should actually be coming from the top of your hip. In your mind's eye, I'd like you to feel the glutes squeezing in towards each other and the openness in the front of your pelvis. The backs of your thighs are pulling towards each other and the front of your thighs are spiraling open and the heels are glued together. Great. From here, start to take a bend of your knees, maybe bending about 2 inches. Knees go out to the side, tracking over second and third toe. Hips stay right over ankles. Glutes stay pinched towards each other. Common mistake here is to stick your bottom out behind you due to tightness in the hips and the inner thighs. If you feel that happening, don't bend your knees as much and keep that slight tuck of your tail. Spine and pelvis positions stay the same. You move 2 inches in space up and down only because the knees are bending. This bend of the knee is called a plie. Now take your arms out to the side, reaching through fingertips. If you have trouble with balance, feel free to grab onto your bar. So start to take your plie with the rhythm of the music. Here we go. We plie down and stand up, and plie down and stand. Good. Keep going with this motion. Here you go. So now on your way, squeeze your glutes up nice and tight, inner thighs squeeze together. Really focus on feeling the musculature of the legs as you come to that stand. Good. As you keep plieing, draw your lower abdominals up and in. Press that navel in towards your spine. Keep your chest open and shoulders open. Good. Feel a tightening of the muscles around your abdominals, that nice cinching of the waistline here. You guys are doing great. Let's just take a few more plies. Here we go. We'll go for 8 and 7. Keep squeezing. 6, 5. It's 4, 3. Last 2 and 1. Very nice. So now from this first position, we're going to our next position, which you've guessed it, it's called second position. You're going to keep those leg bones turned out just as they are, but now you're going to create space between the heels. Go ahead and step your legs out wider than hip distance. The legs again stay turned out. The toes are at 10 and 2 o'clock. We went from a clock face about the size of a dinner plate to the size of the whole kitchen table. So the legs aren't so wide that balance becomes an issue. You should still be able to press into the big toe, pinky toe, and heel side of the foot and feel nice and controlled. Now let's start your plie. Bend the knees right over second and third toe again. And then feel that same sensation. Tall spine, pelvis is neutral, no sticking your bottom out, and your chest is nice and open. Now squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze your glutes on the way to stand up. You've got it. How far down do you go? As far as you can, keeping proper alignment, right? So knees over second and third toe, heels are on the ground. And now we're gonna speed it up to get to that tempo. We bend down, lift up, and down, lift up. Nice big plie, a deep plie, down, lift up. It's down and down. Really nice, guys. Keep checking in with your alignment. That chest stays open, the knees are nice and wide. All the way down, all the way lift. Down, squeeze your glutes to lift. Last 4. And 3, get nice and low for 2. Now hold that lowest plie on 1, stay there. Your bottom is slightly tucked under, the core is definitely engaged as always. Start to find a little pulse with your legs now, so that's just a micro bend of the knee. This movement is really, really small. You can imagine the length from knee to knee is like a rubber band pulled to its maximum. And then the pulse is just that little bit more that your rubber band can stretch, just that little tiny extra bit. A nice buoyant bounce. Here we go. Let's pulse it out. We pulse down and down and down and down. Get nice and low, even lower, and pulse and pulse. As you stay low and you keep finding this little teeny tiny pulse, your thighs will start burning. They're meant to. Don't worry about it. Stay in the heat. Stay in this moment. We're trying to tire out those big muscle groups again to really dive deep into the stabilizers and also create change in the body. So know that this is the moment that it's worth it. So stay down, stay low, and keep going. Let's pulse down and down. Get those knees wider out to the side if you can. And getting low and low. Keep it going, guys. Find a nice deep breath. Find a little bit of an internal calmness here. Get super duper low. Here we go. We'll go last 10 and 9. Get lower, 8 and 7. Knees are wide. Give it your full effort for these last few. Last 3, 2, hold your legs at the bottom, hold your deep plie, your deep bend. Hold. You'll hold for 8. Get lower, 7. Knees are wide out to the side, 6. Get lower, 5. You can do it, hold it, 4. It's 3, 2, squeeze your glutes, stand yourself up. Really nice work. Shake out those thighs. Alrighty guys, go ahead and take your toes to just face parallel. Your feet are still wider than hips distance, a nice wide stance. We're gonna start a stepping and tapping motion. We're gonna break it down real slow so everyone's on the same page, and then we'll start to speed it up. Okay, so here we go. Your feet are nice and wide. You're gonna shift your weight over to the right side, and you're just gonna tap the left ball of your foot or that left toe pad right where it is. Very nice. You'll bend your knees, shift your weight to the left side, tap your right toe right where it was. Your feet are never coming together. It's not a step touch. It's just a step tap where you are. So legs stay nice and wide. Let's start this motion. Here we go. We'll go to the right, then left, and right, and left. Just tapping the toe, and tap, and tap, and tap. So to get the heart rate up and to make this a little more challenging, you can find a deep bend of the knees. So you bend and tap, get nice and low, and tap, and tap. Nice work, guys. Keep this going. We're gonna add our arms in a second, so know that there's a little more coordination coming. It's 8 and 7, tap 6, 5, last 4, 3. You keep tapping, stepping and tapping. I'm gonna add those arms on. So when you're ready, shift over to the right, tap your left toe, hold there. Take your left arm up and overhead. Your bicep is right by your ear. You're making a half of an X shape. Very nice. Then shift your weight over to the left, drop your left arm. You'll take your weight onto the left foot. Your right arm will come up and overhead, right bicep by the ear. General rule, the toe that's tapping is the arm that's reaching. All right, here we go. We're ready to do it. Step and touch, step and touch. Now add the arms. Over to the right, the left arm reaches. Over to the left, right arm reaches. Keep going here, and if this is really confusing to you, just lift one arm up and then the other. It doesn't matter which one. We're doing this to warm our bodies up. We're not trying to find perfect choreography today. It's just about getting your blood flowing. Keep going, reach and reach and reach. Arm up and overhead. You can even find a little bit of a side bend there. And if you want to get really funky, get really low with that bend of the knees. Bend and reach, bend and reach. Let's take 10 more here. 10, 9, 8, 7, reaching 6, 5. Keep going with these step taps. Now start to bring your hands into fists and bring them by your side. Your fists are right by your waistline and you're still step tapping. Now we're gonna add a little rotation with the spine by taking a twist and a punch. The toe that's tapping, that same arm is punching. So when I'm tapping my right toe, I'm punching to the left. When I'm tapping my left toe, I'm punching to the right. Then from there, you're adding a little twist of the rib cage. So you're twisting, punching, twist, and punching. Again, if this doesn't make sense, just punch forward. Or maybe find just a little trunk twist. Just warming up the body. Keep going. And step tap, step tap. Get low with that bend. Keep reaching through your arms. Breathing nice and deep. We'll go for 10. Twisting 9. It's 8. Twist right and left. Twist and twist. Last 4. 3. 2. Keep tapping your feet. Step tap, step tap. Now the hands are going to come up right by your shoulders like you're about to high 10 somebody. You've got it. This last position is just reaching the arms up and overhead. Reach up, reach up, reach up. The fingertips come up to reach the ceiling. You're step tapping, step tapping. Nice work, guys. You can put a smile on your face, send some good energy into your body. Step and tap, step and reach. Really reach through the fingers, reach through the arms. All right, and this is your true last set. It's 10, reaching 9, go 8 and 7, get low 6 and 5, last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop your arms, walk your feet in towards one another. We'll take our feet right under our sitting bones and start a little march, march, march action. Your hands can come in fists right by your waistline, and they'll just swing in opposition like you're taking a nice brisk walk. It's march, march, march. Really nice, guys. Again, we're just trying to keep the body moving, trying to get nice and warm. So if you're worried about the steps, just do something to keep your body going. Maybe even a light jog if the knees will allow for it. You just keep moving and moving. Arms are engaged, pressing those elbows back, back, back. Spine is straight, core is on, always on, through this whole class. Alrighty, now go ahead and extend those arms in front of you. I call them mummy arms. Your palms are facing down, the hands are in line with the shoulders, and they're just right out in front of you. You've got it. We're gonna take some nice big marches here. You're trying to lift your knee all the way to your hands. Think of like a high knee march. You're lifting up and up, up and up. Now, as you're lifting your legs, really important that you keep the navel up and in. So you're lifting from those lower abdominals. You're finding some strength there, some strength in your deep hip flexor, your psoas muscle. Little lift and lift, lift and lift. Nice work, guys. Then go ahead and reach your arms up to the ceiling. Keep these high knee marches going. We're gonna start to add our arms into it. Every time you lift your knee, you're gonna take your elbows into the waistline, pulling arms down and down, down and down. Good work, guys. You just keep checking in with that alignment. Always super important that you're staying as tall as possible here. Try not to curl the tail underneath yourself as you're marching. You keep your pelvis neutral, your spine straight. You're just lifting the knee. Good. Now to finish off, we're gonna add a twist here. You'll do this by bringing opposite elbow to opposite knee. You're marching, pulling, and twisting, all of those things. Here we go. We twist and twist. Opposite elbow, opposite knee. Remember that twist happens right underneath the rib cage, so it's right at the waistline where you twist. Try to keep the hips as neutral as possible, so hip bones facing forward. It's the rib cage that rotates to twist and twist. Alrighty, let's take 8 more. Here we go. We'll go for 8 and 7. Last 6 and 5. This is 4. Keep rotating, getting nice and tall. You'll go for 2 and final 1. Very nice work, you guys. You should be nice and warm. Up next, we're heading into our arm section, so go ahead and grab those small hand weights, and I'll meet you in the center of the room. Welcome back, guys. Now that you have your weights, go ahead and take a step onto the back part of your mat. Take your feet about sit bones distance apart, that's about a fist distance apart, and then go ahead and have a slight bend in your knees here. Check out your spine, make sure it's nice and straight. Then go ahead and just take your shoulders up towards your ears and then roll them down your back. Feel your scapula connect to back body and keep them there this entire time. We're not moving the shoulder blades, we're moving our arms. Lastly, go ahead and open your chest. Keep a nice proud chest, again, this entire time. Here we go. We're starting with an overhead press here. So go ahead and take your weights by your shoulders. Your palms will be faced forward and your elbows are right by your side. All right, from here, you're just gonna reach your weights up and over your head until the weights touch one another. Then from there, using your own body resistance, you pull your elbows right by your side. The weights come back down to your shoulders. That's your choreography. It's just a lift of the weights and a lower of the weights. Here we go. We lift up. We drop down. We lift the weights. We draw the elbows down. Nice. You lift and lower. Final one at this pace. Now let's go a little faster. Here we go. We lift and lower. Touch the weights and drop the elbows down. Very nice. As you're doing this, you're still keeping those shoulders down your back. The neck is nice and long. Here we go. 8 more. We touch for 8 and down. Touch the weight 7. Lift them 6. Here we go. 5. Last 4 and 3. Lift 2 and draw your elbows by your side on 1. Very nice. Go ahead and drop those hands down. From here, we're going into a front raise. So swing your palms in front of your thighs so that the weights are then touching the front of your thigh. From there, roll your shoulders down your back. You've got it. Spine is nice and straight. We're taking our front raise. Lifting your arms up, your hands will come right in line with the shoulders. Palms will be facing down to the floor. Then from there, you'll just drop the weights back down to the starting position, right at your thighs. So it's just a lift up, hands in line with the shoulders, and then a drop down back to the thigh. Again, we lift up, and then with resistance, we take our arms down. So we're not just dropping the arm, but we're controlling it on the down part of this exercise. Go ahead and lift up, hands in line with the shoulders, and then down. And it's a front raise, so if you're confused about where to lift, it's right in front of you, forward to the body and down. Nice, guys. A couple more like this at this slower tempo. We'll lift and lower. We lift and lower. 2 more here. Nice straight arms. Keep the shoulder blades attached to back body. Go ahead and lift on this last one and hold it here. From there, we're going to take a little pulse up and up with the arm. So again, the palms are facing down. Your weights are now right in front of the shoulder. Arms are lengthened. And you're just pulsing, going up and up and up. 8 more good ones here. We go 8, pulse 7, 6, lift 5. It's 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold those arms up in space. From here, we go right up into a crisscross. You're going to cross right wrist over left, then the left wrist over right. You cross and cross. Arms are still lengthened forward in front of you. You're crossing right at your midline. Arms are about shoulder height, maybe slightly lower, but only slightly. Keep crissing and crossing. You'll go 10, crossing 9, criss and cross for 8, and 7. It's left wrist and right wrist and left wrist and right wrist. Last 4, and 3. Keep going. 2, and 1. Keep those arms stretched out in front of you, guys. We're going into a row. The palms are facing down. The weights are in line with your shoulders. From here, you're going to take your elbows back behind you, squeezing shoulder blades, and then lengthen those arms forward again to that starting position. You're not dropping the elbows in space at all. You're just imagining that you're gliding them on a tabletop position here, so they stay nice and lifted, about shoulder height, maybe slightly lower. Your row goes back and forward. It's back and forward. Squeeze the shoulders, lengthen the arms. Squeeze and lengthen. Keep rowing. Palms are facing down. We'll go for 8. Rowing 7. You've got it. 6. Squeeze the shoulders. 5. Last 4. Chest is open. Last 2. Now on this last one, only come halfway back with your elbows. So you did like a half rowing motion, and now you've got your elbows in line with your shoulders, and your arms are out to the side of you. Weights are out to the side of you. Keeping the same 90-degree bend at the elbow, the palms facing down. All we're going to do is a lateral raise, so meaning we're bringing the arms up and down to the sides of our body. So the elbows will attach to our waistline here. The weights just follow along, and then you lift your elbows right back up to that shoulder height. There's no rotation happening in the arms. It's just the elbows coming into the waist and then lifting back out to this side. Down and lift. Nice, guys. Down and lift. Again, 90-degree bend at that elbow here. And lift. You should feel the middle part of your shoulder working, mid-deltoid and up. Now take it tempo. Down, lift up. Down and up. Weights come with you here. Down and up. 8. Raise 7. You go 6. Lift 5. Almost there. Last 4. 3. 2. Now attach the elbows by your side on 1. The palms should naturally face in. The shoulders roll down. From here, we're going to rotate at the forearm to bring the palms to face up towards the ceiling. So now you've got elbows connected to your waistline, palms up to the ceiling. We're going for a little rotation to finish in this standing posture. You're going to keep your elbows attached to the waist and open your arms out to the side. Open them as far out to the side as you can, keeping the palms facing the ceiling and the elbows attached to your waist. Then we add a pulse here and here. The pulse is open and open. Now make sure that again, your shoulders stay open, the elbows stay connected to the waistline, and the palms now stay up to the ceiling, pulsing out for 10. Pulse 9. You go 8. And 7, open the chest a little more, 6. And 5, rotator strengthener, 4. You go 3, last 2, and open those arms on 1. Bring your palms back into center, drop your arms down. Nice work. So we've worked the front of your shoulder, the side of your shoulder, the rotator. We're now gonna head to those triceps. We'll take a bend at our knees and then a hinge of our spine forward. So you're sticking your sitting bones back and then hinging at the hip about 45 degrees so your spine is on a diagonal coming forward. Good. From there, take your weights towards your hips and point your elbows back behind you. Bend in the knees, straight spine, elbows back behind you, hands at the hips. Great, we're ready for our tricep extensions here. Roll the shoulders down your back, open your chest. Remember that neck is a part of your spine, so keep it lengthened also. There we go. Now from here, just straighten your arms so they're coming back behind you. The knuckles are reaching towards the back wall. The arm is nice and lengthened. That's your pulse there. You'll lift up and up. Just a straight arm for now, lifting up and up. So it's back behind you, lifting up and up. Really nice. Keep reaching knuckles to the back wall to find length throughout that arm. The shoulders draw down your back, the navel's in, spine is straight. You pulse up and up. Really nice, guys, and that accent, of course, is on the up, right where it gets to be its hardest. That's where we want to feel that work. So keep trying to lift past that highest point each time. Nice work. Pulse it out. You'll go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, lift 5, it's 4, 3, hold your arms as high as you can on 1. Now from here, we're gonna squeeze our weights in towards each other. So trying to bring the weights a little closer to each other each time you pulse. You close, close, close. Pulsing in. You're almost there. Try to squeeze the weights towards each other. Pulse, pulse, pulse. You'll go for 8 and 7, it's 6, 5, almost there, 4, 3. Now hold those weights behind you up, little bend and stretches of the elbows. From here, you bend and stretch, 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 little bend, stretch. Good, and it's just a tiny bend at the elbow, doesn't have to be too big at all. Then on the stretch, on the extension of the arm, you want to feel the tricep really working, so actively squeeze it. You bend and stretch, bend and stretch. Nice, guys. Just an inch at that elbow. No more is necessary. Bend and stretch. It's 10 and 9. Squeeze 8, 7, 6. Last 4, 3. Now we'll do our big ones to finish. You bend all the way in, extend the arm, and then lift it a little bit higher. We'll try that again. Bend the elbow, the weight comes to the shoulder, extend the arm fully, then lift a little bit higher. We take it up to tempo. Bend, stretch, lift. Bend all the way, stretch, lift. Bend, stretch, lift. Bend, stretch, lift. Actively feeling that tricep as you straighten the arm. Up, bend, stretch, lift. A bend, stretch, lift. 4 more good ones. And lift. Last 3. Bend, stretch, 2. Bend, stretch, 1. That's your last one. Go ahead and take a stand. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears and then roll them down away from your ears. Nice arm work. We're going to finish it off with a little tricep push-up. To do that, we've got to make our way down to our mat. Nod the chin to your chest. Round yourself over your legs so you're just folding over your legs. Take your weights out to the side of your mat. Get them out of your way. Make sure they're truly out of your way. Then take your hands to the ground and walk yourself into a full plank position. From there, drop your knees right down to the mat. You should now be in a short plank position, a long line from your knee all the way up through your rib cage. So feel your glutes squeeze together. Feel a nice tuck of your tail. Then from there, we're going to take tricep push-ups, bending the elbows down by your waist and then just straightening the arms. That's your exhale. Inhale to bend your elbows by your side. Exhale to lift up. Keep hugging the elbows into midline as you do this. Super important. We don't want them to wing out to the side, but just go right back behind us. Inhale, bend. Exhale, lift. And bend. And lift up to tempo. It goes bend and lift. Bend, extend. bend, extend, go for 8. Inhale, exhale to press 7, 6. It's 5, you're almost there. Keep that core in nice and tight. It's 3, last 2, and final 1. Bend, stretch, go ahead and sit your seat back towards your heels. Keep your arms stretched forward. Find a child's pose there. Big breath in, and a big breath out. If you can, go ahead and sit up onto your heels. If that doesn't work for you, you can always just sit onto your mat in a crisscross position. You're going to stretch out the arms. Take your right arm across your body, reaching right fingertips to the left wall. You'll grab onto the right forearm with your left forearm. Find a little stretch there. You should feel the back of the shoulder opening. Lovely. Inhale there. Then exhale to bring the right hand behind you between the shoulder blades. You'll grab onto your right elbow with your left hand and give that tricep a little stretch. Then for just a bit more, on your next exhale, you'll take a side bend over to the left side. So you've created a nice curve with the right side of your body. You should feel your tricep, the full side waist. Very nice. Inhale to take yourself back up to your seat, and we'll switch arms. Left hand comes across your body, left fingertips reaching towards the right wall, grabbing onto the left forearm with your right forearm, giving it a little press, a little assisted stretch. Inhale there, exhale to take the left hand between the shoulder blades, elbows right up to the ceiling. Grab onto the left elbow with your right hand. Little tricep stretch there. Then take yourself to bend to the side, the right side. You'll feel a stretch along the whole side of the left side of your body. Go ahead and release that stretch. Then from here, we're gonna find our way to our bar. We'll put our weights over to the side or completely away, and let's get ready to do our thigh work. I'll meet you back at your bar. Okay guys, let's head over to that sturdy surface, what you're calling your bar today. You'll stand facing it. You'll take your feet about sit bones distance apart, and your toes will be faced towards your bar in a parallel position. We're gonna head into our first exercise, which will be in your chair position. And it is exactly what it sounds like you're sitting in a chair. All right, let's get into it. Grab onto your sturdy surface, your bar, and then send your seat back so it's almost like you're about to sit in a chair. You're trying to sit as far back as you can. You'll want your spine to be nice and straight, and then your thighs ideally are parallel with the floor. You may not get so deep into your chair today, but ideally that's what we're looking for, a 90-degree bend at the hip and the thighs again parallel to the floor. Now that we're in our chair, what do? We take a little pulse. So your pulse, you're not moving very big. You're really just finding a little beat down and down, a pulse down, a tiny movement of the hips up and down, up and down, up and down. You should feel your thighs burning as we start to find these tiny pulses. That's how you know you're doing it right, if you're staying just in a small range of motion and pulsing down and down. Really nice, guys. Now draw the navel in, the chest stays open, the spine is as straight as possible, and you keep a pulsing and pulsing. Knees are tracking right over second and third toes, so we don't want the knees falling in towards each other, but staying nice and aligned. Ankles, knees, and hips. You are still pulsing and pulsing. Very nice. Now deepen your breath as it starts to get a little bit harder. You take your big inhales, your big exhales, still pulsing. Here we go. Last 10. Pulse at 10 and 9, 8, 7. Sit deeper if you can. Last 4, 3, 2, hold it low in your chair. Very nice. Now from here, we're gonna go just up 1 inch and down 1 inch, up 1 inch and down 1 inch. So you're slowing your pulse down, so now it's broken apart into 2 parts. You lift up, you sit down, lift up, sit down. The range of motion is just up 1 inch and down 1 inch. Very nice. It's a little more controlled than that first chair. Up and down, holding up, go down, and lift and lower. The hips stay nice and neutral. The thighs are burning, but you're okay. Stay with it. It's up and down and up and down. You'll go for 10. And 9. You're almost there. 7. Last 6. Lifting up, going down and up and down. It's 4. 3. 2, hold it down on 1, refine that pulse. It's down and down and down. That's your beat for your pulse and pulse. 10 more, here we go. It goes at 10 and 9, 8, 7, pulsing 6, 5, 4, 3. Now hold your chair on 1. This is your last exercise here. Squeeze those inner thighs. You squeeze them in and in and in. Nice. You find a nice deep squeeze of the thighs together. It goes in and in. Keep squeezing. Now draw navel up and in. Spine is straight. You squeeze your thighs. Here we go. Sit lower in that chair if you can and squeeze. Squeeze. The thighs go in and in. In and in. This is 10. Squeeze 9. It's 8. And squeeze and squeeze 7. You go for 6, you're almost there. Feel the burn, enjoy it. Last 4, squeezing 3. You go for 2 and 1. Really nice to finish. We'll stand all the way up and then sit all the way down in our chair. A full squat. You stand up, sit back. Stand up, sit back. All the way up, all the way down. So you're coming to a complete straight leg when you stand, and then you're coming to a complete chair when you sit, a full squat. It's up and down. Squeeze the bottom on the way up, your glutes on the way up, and then open the pelvis on the way down. Here you go. Last 8 and 7, full stand to a squat. Last 4 and 3. Last 2 and 1, stand it on up. Good work, guys. From here, the feet stay sit bones distance apart. We're gonna start our calf raises. Now from here, you're just lifting onto the ball of your feet, lifting your heels off of the floor, and then dropping heels right back down to the floor. That's your choreography. Here we go. It's up and down. Lift the heels, lower the heels. Lift and lower and lift and lower. Now here, you wanna keep a nice straight leg as you lift those heels up. You want to feel your hips stay right over your ankles. And instead of rocking forward to lift your heels, you want to just lift the crown of the head right up to the ceiling. It redistributes the weight a little bit to think of just lifting straight up, straight down, rather than rocking forward. Try it. Here we go. Lifting up, dropping heels. Lifting up and down, straight up and down. Now feel the navel in. The spine is nice and straight. The shoulders down. The chest is open. Calf raises. Go for 8 and 7. You're almost there. It's 6. Last 5, 4, 3, 2. Now lift your heels. Keep your heels nice and high. I'll say it again. Keep those heels nice and high. Grab onto that sturdy surface. Bend your knees into a chair position. That's right. We're doing our high-heeled chair. It looks just the same as your chair before, but now the heels are lifted. Here we go. You find your pulse. It's down and down, pulsing down and down. Little movements. The heels stay lifted. If heels lifted isn't right for you, of course, you can always take them down, but give it a try. Nice and high heels pulsing down and down. You're in your chair, your spine is straight, your breath is deep, it's down and down, you're pulsing down and down. Nice work, guys. Just keep checking in with alignment, making sure the knees are tracking right over second and third toe and right in line with the hips. You're pulsing down and down. The heels are lifted. Keep them up. Here you go. Last 10 little pulses. We go 10. Pulsing 9. It's 8, 7, 6, 5. Last 4, 3. Hold your seat on 1. Your heels are still nice and high. We haven't dropped them yet. From here we go up 1 inch and down 1 inch. It's up 1 and down. Hold up, hold down. It's up and down. Up, little movements. Go up 1 inch and down 1 inch. Up 1 and down 1. Nice work, guys. Keep this going. You squeeze, lift and lower and lift and lower. Still trying to make it back to that full chair every time. It's lift up, sit back, lift up and back. Nice, guys. Moving up 1 inch and down 1 inch. Let's take a few more here. Navel in, spine is straight. Same rules apply. Keep checking in. 10 more. Here we go. It's 10 and 9. 8, keep those heels high. 7, thighs are burning. It's okay. 6 and 5. Last 4. 3, you're almost there. It's 2. Heels nice and high on 1. Sit back into your chair. Pulse it out. Pulse and pulse and pulse. Nice, guys. That pulse is like our little break here. Just finding a little movement, a little intermission. It's pulse and pulse. 10 more. We go 10. Pulsing 9. It's 8 and 7. Heels are still up for 4. 3. Now go ahead and find a squeeze of those inner thighs. Here we go. It goes in and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. The heels are still nice and high. Inner thighs pulling together. It's in and in. Now double time that tempo. Squeeze them in, 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 in. Inner thighs are going nice and fast. In and in and in and in. A nice strong squeeze. In, in, in. Heels are lifted. Chest is open. Belly's on. Squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. Nice, guys. 10. It's 9. Squeeze. 8 and 7. Keep it going. 6. 5, last 4, 3, 2, realign yourself, knees in line with your ankles, in line with your hips. The heels are nice and high. We take a full stand, a full seat to finish. Here it is. We stand up, sit back. Stand up, sit back. The heels are nice and high as you stand all the way up and sit all the way down. Now, no worries if this music is going too fast for you. Just find your full range of motion, your own tempo, especially on this stand to sit. I want you to find your full chair position, getting as low as you can, and then your full stand, obviously all the way to a straight leg. Here we go. It goes up, sit back, up and down, all the way to a stand, all the way to that nice deep chair. Let's take it. 10 and 9, sit back. 8, we go 7, almost there. 6, nice deep squats with those heels nice and high. This is 4, last 3, 2, and 1. Stand all the way up, drop your heels. Great work, guys. Now go ahead and bring those feet together. You're standing in a parallel position. Your heels are dropped. You're just standing nice and straight. Awesome. Now go ahead and rock back onto your heels and then open your toes out to the side into our natural V position. So the right toes are at 2 o'clock. The left toes are at 10 o'clock. If you were standing on a clock face, you're just in a little V position there with the feet. Got it? Alrighty. So now go ahead, lift all the way up onto the balls of your feet. You lift your heels nice and high. Then squeeze your heels together. So walk your feet closer towards each other until the heels squeeze. Your legs are turned out from the top of the hip here. Feel your glutes engage and squeeze also. Fantastic. Now from here, bend your knees out to the side so they're tracking over second and third toe. You've created a diamond shape with your legs, so the knees are out to the side, heels are squeezed, glutes are squeezed. Awesome. From there, you find your pulse. Here we go. It's down, and the knees are always out to the side. Down and down. Little pulse. Here, it's down and down. Then challenge yourself to get a little bit lower if you can. Lower and lower, pulsing down and down. Nice work, guys. Then you check in with the navel. It draws up and in. The shoulders draw down. The spine is lengthened. The chest is open. You keep pulsing, pulsing down and down and down. Feel those glutes engaging, pinching together, the heels pressing together, knees out to the side. And here we go. Last 10, 9, 8, 7 little pulses, and 5. It's 4, 3, 2. Now get super low on this last one. You've got it. Knees are wide out to the side. Now we're going to take our standing clams. From here, you're squeezing your glutes, opening your knees out to the side, and open, open, and open. So the accent here is clearly on that open, right where you feel the work happening, where your knees can't open anymore. That's the pulse. So you're trying to feel the outer hip here. That's the muscular emphasis. Outer hip and the glutes squeezing together. It's all about that hip complex. As you take this external rotation, the little pulse of the knees to open. Tiny clams here. You should feel the sides of your hips start to engage. And of course, the glutes are constantly active and squeezing together. Keep the heels squeezing as well. Clamming those knees to open and open. Keep that little pulse here, that opening here. Let's take 10 more. Here we go. It's 10, 9, open 8, and 7. Squeeze the glutes. 6, 5, 4, 3. Now hold your knees open as wide as you can. Keep that clam position. Bend your knees a little bit more. We'll start to tuck our tail. So the tuck of your tail is a little draw under of the sit bones. It's a hollowing of the lower belly, the navel drawing in, scooping out the lower abdominals. If you want to think of your hip bones lifting up towards your rib cage, that puts you in the right direction, tilting in the right direction. Little tuck, little tuck. Now keep squeezing those glutes. The knees are wide out to the side. The chest is open. The spine is tall. And you tuck and tuck. Nice job. Light press of the hands on that bar. We don't want to be death gripping on your steady surface, just enough to find a balance. Keep squeezing your heels, squeezing your glutes, opening those knees nice and wide, and tucking and tucking. Here you go. Keep it going. Last 10, 10 and 9, tuck 8, 7, good, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold your tuck. Pull the knees to open a little bit more. Then from here, in this tucked position, in this wide kneed position, you're going up 1 inch and down 1 inch, up 1 inch and down 1 inch. You knew that was coming, huh? We go up 1 and down 1. It's up and down, little lift, little lower, little lift, little lower. Stay with that pelvis tucked underneath you. It creates a little more length in the front of the thigh. Keep squeezing your glutes and opening the knees as wide as you possibly can, keeping them tracking over second and third toe. Nice job, guys. It's up 1 inch and down 1 inch and up 1 and down 1. You're almost there. Keep it going. Let's take 10 more here. It's up and down and up and down. You'll go for 8. Squeeze to lift 7. It's 6, knees nice and wide. 5, keep that tuck. Hollow out the lower belly. It's 3. Lift 2. Lift 1. Now pulse it out to finish. Pulse and pulse. The tuck will stay. The lower belly pulled up and in. Nice, guys. You're pulsing down and down. A little pulse. Knees are nice and wide. Here we go. Get a little bit lower if you can. And pulse and pulse. Keep lifting your heels, squeezing those together, squeezing glutes together. We'll pulse for 10 and 9. You're almost there. 8 and 7. Last 6. 5. Get lower. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stand all the way up. Drop your heels. Good work. Okay, guys, let's give you that well-deserved thigh stretch. Go ahead and take yourself all the way down to the floor on all fours. If you need to grab your mat now, go ahead and do so. I'll meet you back here. From your all fours position, you'll have your shoulders right over your wrists, your knees right underneath your hips. Take your right foot between your hands. We're going to come into a kneeling lunge here. Hands can come on top of your thighs. Now you should start to feel a stretch in the left side of your hip, the left hip flexor, the left thigh. If you're not feeling a stretch here in this upright position, upright kneeling position, you can walk your right foot a little bit more forward. Then you start to send the hips forward. Your right knee is right over ankle. Your left leg will be the one that's opening at the hip, so you should feel the stretch throughout the front of the left thigh again. Take a few deep breaths here. Great big inhale. Great big exhale, releasing any tension that's been created in the front of the left thigh. 2 more deep breaths. Final big inhale. final rinsing exhale. Then take your right hand to the side of your right leg. Take your left arm up and overhead. Find a nice big side stretch for the left side. As you're taking the side stretch, you should feel an even deeper stretch or connection between navel to the front of the left thigh. We're getting into that deep psoas muscle, that deep hip flexor muscle. It should feel pretty nice. Take one more big breath in. Another big breath out. Then go ahead and take your hands back underneath the shoulders right where you began. You'll take the right leg away and then we'll take the left side. So from your all fours position, take your left leg forward between the hands. Take your hands to come on top of the thighs. Start to lean your hips forward in space. Then if you need more stretch, walk your left foot forward more. Keep your left knee right over left ankle and really press into the hips, stretching the front of the right thigh. 3 deep breaths here. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. You've got one more breath. Your next inhale, you'll start to take your left hand to the left side of your body onto the floor. The right hand up and overhead. Start to breathe deep here, feeling a stretch again from navel through the right thigh now. You can think of a nice expansive inhale, a huge releasing exhale. Take another great big breath in, and then exhale, return the hands right underneath the shoulders. You can take yourself back to that all fours position. Tuck your toes underneath yourself so the balls of your feet press into the floor. Then take your hips up to the ceiling, find a downward facing dog stretch. You've got straight legs, straight arms, a straight spine. Your hips are the highest point of this stretch. You can bend one knee slightly, sending the opposite heel down to the floor. Deeper calf stretch. Go ahead and switch sides. Drop both heels back down to the ground. Feel a huge stretch throughout the back of the thigh. Then start to walk your hands into your feet or your feet into your hands until you're just hanging over your legs. Your spine is just draping over the front of the legs. Your head is heavy. The arms are just dangling down. Take one more full inhale at the bottom here. Then exhale, press into your feet and start to roll up one vertebra at a time until you're right back at a nice tall stand. Okay, now that we've worked your thighs, it is time to get into those glutes. So go ahead and find your way back to the bar. Nice job on that thigh work, guys. Now it's time to focus on our glutes. So go ahead and come to face your sturdy surface. Your hands are gonna grab onto the surface about shoulder distance apart. We're gonna take a tabletop position with our bodies, meaning we'll take a fold forward at the hip, about a 90-degree bend at the hip, if you wanna think of it that way. So go ahead and start to walk your feet backwards away from your bar. Keep your hands attached to the bar right where you are. Eventually, you'll walk so far back that you find yourself in that 90-degree crease at the hip. Your torso will be parallel to the floor, and we are in one long line from our sitting bones all the way through our hands that are still connected to our sturdy surface. You've got it. So if I were to rest a cup of tea on your spine, you're so flat in your back that the tea wouldn't go anywhere, it wouldn't spill over. Alrighty, so things to note here. Your hips are right over your ankles and there's a soft bend in your knee. Your navel is pulled up into your spine and your abdominals stay engaged this entire time. Super important. It's easy to let the belly hang towards the floor. You've got to actively keep pulling those corset abs up and in, and don't worry, I will remind you. Your shoulders are stayed pulled down away from your ears, connected into the back body. And lastly, remember that your neck is a part of your spine, so keep reaching the crown of the head forward in front of you to the bar in front of you. Long line from crown of the head all the way through to those sitting bones. All right, now that you're there, let's begin the work. So just a reminder, there's that soft bend of your knee, so a little 1/2 inch bend behind the knee. Now go ahead and point your right leg back behind you. The toes are touching the floor. The leg is lengthened, nice and long. Now from here, feel your hip bones. The right and the left hip should be in one line. So when you took the right leg back behind you, the right hip should not have lifted at all. It should stay pointed towards the floor. Fantastic, that's true this entire time. Now from here, go ahead and lift your right leg up as high as you can. Still keeping the hip bones in line with one another. You should eventually feel your right glute engage to lift the leg, and that's where we're gonna find our pulse today. So from here, it's a little lift and lift. So you still point through the right toes. The leg is as long as possible on the right side. There's a soft bend in the left knee, and you're really just lifting that right leg from the right glute. Now, easy to do here is overarch in the lower back. So keep checking in, navel to spine, and make sure that low back stays lengthened. Very nice. So you keep pulsing here. The longer we go, the more you're gonna find that burn in the right glute. You might also feel some activation in the left outer hip. If you're starting to feel discomfort there, press into your right hand a little bit more. It's gonna square off the body, ask for the obliques to turn on to stabilize you rather than sinking into the left hip. Cool, pulsing up and up. Keep pointing through the toes, the spine is long, up and up. Here we go, last 10 little pulses. 10, 9, 8, last 7, 6, 5, 4, almost there, 3, 2, hold that leg up nice and high. You've got it. That right glute should still be on. You should feel it nice and engaged. From there, you're gonna make little circles with the right leg. So imagine you're drawing a circle on the wall behind you with your toes, and let's say the circle's about the size of a tea saucer, so it's a very small circle. Here you go. You circle up and up. The accents on that lift. You should definitely feel your right glute as you lift and lift. Little circle. And it's okay if your circle isn't perfect on the wall behind you. It's just an imaginary circle. It's just to get you to carve out a nice round glute as you circle that leg. Right bottom should be burning. Circle and circle. We'll go for 8 and 7, 6. Keep drawing the navel up and in. The spine is nice and long. 4, 3. Now hold that leg up nice and high. And here you go. You start to reverse the circle. So you still want to feel the right glute lifting the leg as you circle and circle. Pointing through the toes. Soft bend of the left knee. Keep pressing into the right hand. Draw the navel up and in, and you circle and circle. Tiny little movements here. On this work, especially this glute work, smaller is better. So just make sure you keep listening to your body, feeling the right glute engage, the lower back lengthen, the navel pull up and in, and you circle and circle. That's all you're doing. Keep it there. Last 10, 9, 8. It's 6 and 5, almost home. Last 3, 2. Now lengthen through the leg. Don't drop it. Keep it up. Keep that right glute engaged. Now you're gonna bend your knee and flex your foot. Your foot should be right up towards the ceiling. Knee is down in line with the right hip. The right hip is in line with the left hip. Got it? Alrighty. So again, it's a bend of your knee, the sole of your foot facing up towards the ceiling. Right knee is right behind your right hip. From there, you're going to try to stamp the ceiling with the sole of your right foot. So it's a little lift, a little lift. You've got it, and that's your pulse there. You just stay with it, lift and lift and lift. You'll start to feel the hamstring fire up here. That's the back of your thigh, the back of your leg. You'll still feel that glute. We're staying in that right side for just a little bit longer. Little lift and lift. Now keep checking in with your alignment. Is your neck still in line with your spine? One long line from crown of the head to the sitting bones. Is the navel still drawn in? The corset abs are pulling in towards the midline. You're still pulsing. Little lift up and up. Keep drawing the right knee into the midline of the body. It's easy to let it turn outwards. A little bit more challenging to keep the knee right in line with the right hip, and then both hips squared off to the floor. You've got it. Let's take 10 more here. Little pulse and pulse. We'll go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it up as high as you can. Now from here, we're gonna find a little pulse hold. You lift the leg, hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lift the leg and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold. 1, 2, 3. Now keep going with this. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your knee is still bent. The hips are still in one line. As you hold that leg up, you should really feel the right glute even shaking. Totally fine. We're trying to exhaust that muscle group. And lift and hold. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it up. 1, 2, 3. 2 more. Hold it up. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. And up. 1, 2, 3. Now pulse it up and up. Sole of the foot is still reaching up to that ceiling. 10 more here. You go for 10 and 9, 8. Last 6, 5, 3, 2. We finished the way we started. Lengthen your leg behind you. Point your toes. It's a pulse up of that lengthened leg to finish. It's that same exercise we started with. A little concentrated pulse, a little lift, a nice lengthened leg, a lengthened spine. Navel in, shoulders down, neck in line with the spine. Little lifts. Here you go. Up and up. Try to reach those toes to the wall behind you. Get a little bit longer throughout the entire body. Check in with the bend of the left knee. Slight little bend there. Zip the belly. Here we go. Last 10 and 9, 8. It's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop your right leg down. Take a stand for a moment and shake out your hips. You can literally just shake your bottom out. Take some intuitive movements, whatever you need to do to release any tension that's in the right glute, possibly in the left glute from stabilizing. And then we reset and go to the other side. You ready? Alrighty, here we go. Hands shoulder distance apart on that steady surface. Walk your feet back behind you. Fold at your hips 90 degrees. You've got it. Neck is in line with the spine. One long line from sitting bones to the crown of your head. Bend your knees. Notice both hip points to the floor. Point your left toes back behind you, a nice straight left leg. Zip the belly, lift the left leg up, feel the left glute fire up, and from here we find our pulse. We go up and up. Same sequence on this side, guys, so you already know your choreography. Now it's your time to really check in with your alignment. Spine is straight, navel in, tiny little pulses with that left leg. You lift up and up. You're lifting the left leg from the left glute. Your glutes extend your leg bones from the hip. So it's a little lift up and up. Make it smaller, make it higher. But keep the lower back lengthened. We're not moving the back body. Remember that. Really check in with that, guys. I don't want you to wake up tomorrow with sore backs. I want you to wake up with nice lifted, strong glutes, yeah? Goal for this. Keep pointing through those toes, lengthening through the legs. Here we go, little pulses. You go up, up. You're almost home. Let's do 10 more. And 9, 8, lengthen through your toes. There it is. Last 4, 3, hold your left leg up on 1. Hold. From here, you find your circle. Circle up. Little tiny circles to the back wall. Remember, they're about the size of that tea saucer. And the accent of the circle is on the up, right where you feel the left glute fire up. That's the zone that we want to stay in, right where the left glute has to work the hardest. So make your circles smaller, make them very concentrated. Keep checking in with the lower back. You've got it, guys. Here we go. Let's take 10 more. 10, 9, 8. Little circle, point through those toes. Last 4, 3, 2. Now, if you remember, we have to reverse the circle. Here you go. Other way. If your right hip is getting tired, and it might because it just worked really hard and now it's stabilizing us, remember to press into that left hand. Even out the body a little bit. Keep feeling an outer hug from both hips, so you're taking the hips and pulling them in towards each other. Pull your core on. Connect your ribs. little circles in the reverse. Find that highest point right where the left glute is working, it's screaming, it's burning, and stay with that. Believe me, I know you're getting tired, but part of this workout is that mental strength that you gain from pushing past your point of fatigue. Yeah, so stay with your breath. Keep going, you can do it. It's not that much longer. In fact, there's 10 more circles here. It's 10, 9, 8. Keep pointing through the toes, lengthening through the leg a little bit more. Last 4, 3, 2, very nice. Keep the leg up, don't drop it. Flex your left foot, bend your left knee. Sole of the foot is right up to the ceiling. Square off the hips, the left knee is in line with the left hip. Don't let it pull out to the side. It's gonna want to. Draw that left knee in right behind the left hip. Here you go, that's your pulse. It's up and up. You really should feel the bottom part of the glute and the top part of the hamstring on this lift and lift. Little pulse there. Now notice your left hip point. Is it in line with the right side? Do you still have that soft bend of the right knee? Super important so you're not locked out in the knee joint, yeah? Keep it pulsing. You've got it, guys. This is the last side. Last time you have to do this today. I mean, that's just an option. If you want to do it again today, you're totally welcome to. You keep pulsing up and up and up. Try to get the sole of the foot to touch the ceiling without moving the lower back. Don't forget, super important. Nice, strong left glute. Navel draws up and in. Here we go. Last 10. And 9, 8, keep pulsing up and up. This is 6. And 5, realign that left knee right behind the hip. There you go. 3, 2, last one. And you know what's coming next. Here you go. It's your upholds. And you take your leg up. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Pulse, hold. Pulse, hold at the top. Make that left glute work. Pulse, hold. And hold. Lift, hold, and hold it. You've got it. As you're holding it, you feel the left glute kick on. Get nice and strong to hold that leg up. Little pulse down, lift, and lift. We'll take a few more here, guys. You're almost home. Stay with it. Make that left glute work for it. Soft bend in the right knee. It's up, hold. Up, hold. Let's do 4 more here. It's 4. Hold 3, hold 2, hold 1, pulse it out. Here you go. Lift up and up and up. Little pulses, guys. You've got this. You can do it. Stay with it. Little lift up and up. It's 10. Keep pulsing out for 9. It's 8. And 7. Check out your alignment. Make sure left knee is right in line with that left hip. Both hips are squared off to the floor. Lower back is lengthened. Here you go, it's 4, pulsing out for 3, lifting up for 2. Now lengthen your leg behind you, point your toes on 1. This is your last little pulse here. It goes at lift and lift. Here you go, keep lifting up and up. We're finishing strong, just how we started. Re-pull the hips in towards one another, press into your left hand to get out of that right hip, especially if you're achy in it. Keep zipping up through the midline. Keep the little lift right at the top of that left glute. You feel it burning here. The lower back is lengthened, the navel is drawn up and in. You've got it. Let's take 10 more. Here we go. It goes for 10. Little lifts in 9. Keep it going. 8. And 7, you're almost there. You've got it. 6, point those toes. 5, last 4, and 3, 2, nice work, guys. Lift it up on 1, drop that left leg down to the floor, take a nice tall stand, shake out your hips. I will give you your much deserved stretch here. We're gonna come to a figure 4 position with the legs. So go ahead and grab onto your sturdy surface. Take the outside of your right ankle, right above your left knee. Start to bend your left knee down so you're coming into like a chair position, sending your sitting bones back, holding on to your sturdy surface. Your right knee is going right out to the side. Think of like a figure 4 and hold there. This would be like a sitting pigeon position. Take a few deep breaths there, opening up through the right glute, The right external rotators, that deep piriformis muscle keeps sitting down, 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 opening through the hips. Take one more big inhale there. And a huge exhale. Release the stretch when you're ready, and we'll go to the other side. The outer left ankle comes right above the right kneecap. You start to bend your right knee, sending your hips back in space, almost like you're sitting into a chair. You should feel the outer left glute start to stretch. Find 3 deep breaths there, sending oxygen into that left glute, opening up through the hip. Take huge exhales out, rinsing the body. We've got 2 more deep breaths like that. Great big inhale. Great big exhale. Final one. Go ahead and release your stretch. Take both feet to the floor and stand up nice and tall. Nice work, guys. Your glutes should be on fire, yeah? Alrighty, up next we've got our ab work. So go ahead and make your way down to your mat or your carpeted floor and get ready to tap into that core. Here we go. We are in the home stretch, guys. This is our last little bit of today's barre class, so dive in fully and enjoy it. Come onto your back on your mat. Your feet are about sit bones distance apart. Your knees are bent and up to the ceiling. Your spine is in a neutral position, so there's space underneath the lower back and underneath your neck. Now I want you to find a supported pelvis, a supported spine. You'll do this by drawing your navel in and then pressing your lower back into the floor or the mat. You should now feel each vertebra of your lower back pressed into the mat, and you should also feel that abdominal wall pressing into your spine. I'm calling this a supported spine, a supported pelvis. So keep that in mind when you hear that terminology again. All right, let's go ahead and begin. Your hands are reaching down by your side on the mat. Take a great big inhale breath to prepare. Then take an exhale breath, nod your chin to your chest, flatten out your belly, and curl your head, neck, and shoulders off of the mat. Your scapula are lifted off of the mat. You're doing this by connecting your waistband and your rib cage together, activating those upper abdominal muscles. Very nice. Take an inhale to stay there. Then exhale, lower your head, neck, and shoulders all the way down to the floor, back to the starting position. Inhale again, prepare. Exhale to lift. Inhale to stay, and exhale to lower down. You're going to do this just a few more times. The exhale is to lift. You'll stay for 1 breath and then lower down, just like a crunch. So as you do this, be really mindful of the abdominal wall. It should never pooch up to the ceiling. You want to keep it hollowed out. You want to keep it flattening towards your spine. That flattening of the abdominal wall activates your transverse abdominis, your stabilizing ab muscles. Really important here for a nice tall posture, a really strong core from the inside out. Let's take 1 more and stay up. It's an inhale breath to prepare, and exhale, nod the chin to your chest, curl your head, neck, and shoulders up, and hold it here. Very nice. You'll take your arms to lift up overhead. Your biceps come by the ears. Then take your arms to just hover over the mat, back down. You'll lift the arms again. Head, neck, and shoulders are still up. The arms reach forward to a hover over your mat. We go again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. Head, neck, and shoulders stay up. If they've dropped a little bit, lift them right back up. You've got it. Use those upper abdominal muscles. Arms are reaching up and down. This is your final one. Arms reach up, arms come all the way forward. Then lower your head, neck, and shoulders. Lower your arms. Fantastic. So getting into those 5 Pilates ab exercises I talked about, we're starting out with your 100. It's a classic Pilates exercise meant to not only strengthen the abdominals, but also increase endurance. Really important exercise, so we're including it in today's class. All right, let's get into it. You're going to take that supported pelvis, that supported spine. Very nice. So your lower back is pressed into the mat. Now take your right leg to a tabletop position. Your knee is right over your hip. Your shin is parallel to the floor. Keep the lower back engaged and pressed into the mat. Lift your left leg to that same tabletop position. Squeeze your thighs, stay there. Now reach through your arms, nod your chin to your chest. Use those upper abdominals to lift your head, neck, and shoulders up, just like you did in that last one. Very nice. Now your arms are just hovering above the mat. Your choreography today, you just lift your arms up 1 inch and down 1 inch, up 1 inch and down 1 inch. That eventually comes into a nice quick beat, 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 beat with the arms, up and down, up and down, up and down. You should feel pressure from the back of the shoulders and have a really strong arm. So no noodle arms. We're nice and strong in our bones and our muscles. Great. So from here, there's a choreographed breath as well. It's an inhale through your nose for 5 counts and exhale through your mouth for 5 counts. This is really important. It keeps this really nice circular flow with the breath. And really, this exercise should not only be about the body position, but stretching the diaphragm, opening up through the back and sides of the ribs, and getting a nice, full, deep breath. Alrighty, let's go into it. Start to beat your arms up and down, up and down, up and down. And we start to breathe. It's a great big inhale and a great big exhale. Again, inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Your arms are beating, 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 beating. Exhale through the mouth. Really nice, guys. So keep that breath expansive, and then every time you exhale, contract all of that air out of you. Feel the navel sink into your spine as you do that. Feel the waistline pull in towards your midline. Keep lifting the head, neck, and shoulders up by using those upper abdominal muscles. You're already almost there. You've got 3 more breaths. Here we go all together. Last 3. It's a great big inhale and a great big exhale. Heat in the arms. They're nice and strong. Huge inhale, huge exhale. Squeeze your legs, lift through pelvic floor, and exhale. Curl just a little bit higher to finish. Lower your head, neck, and shoulders down. Lower your feet down to the mat. Very nice. Shake your knees out side to side if you need to. You should feel pretty energized after all that deep breathing. So let's get into our next few exercises. Re-support your pelvis. Lower back presses into the mat. Now hug your right knee into your body really, really tightly. As tight as you can. You can even nod the chin to your chest to get your head, neck, and shoulders to really hold that right knee into your body. Great. Now from here, feel the navel wall pull in. Lift your left leg into a tabletop, then extend it on the 45-degree angle forward in front of you. From here, consciously feel the left hip and rib sliding towards one another. And again, keep focusing on that core, engaging, keep it nice and strong, lower back pressed into the mat. We're getting into your single leg stretch. The breath here is also important. For every 2 movements, it's 1 breath. So you'd move and move on 1 inhale, you'd move and move on 1 exhale. That'll make sense in just a second. So hugging that right knee into your body, take a great big inhale through your nose, then switch to hug the left leg, your right leg extends forward. Then from there, we'll take an exhale, switching to the right to hug it in, switching to the left to hug it in. Back to your inhale, switch, switch, exhale, switch, and switch. So you're just hugging the knee into the body, and you're coordinating that breath. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Every time you breathe in, you're expanding the back and the sides of the ribs. Every time you exhale, you deepen that connection of navel to spine. You wrap your waistline a little bit tighter. This might look like a bicycle crunch to you if you're used to that. Same thing, just a different name. Keep hugging the leg in and in. Exhale, in and in. Really nice, guys. See if you can curl up the head, neck, and shoulders just a little bit higher. I know you can do it. And switch and switch. You'll go for 5 and 4. Stay with that deep breathing. 3, 2, 1. Hug 1 leg into your body. Now bring both legs to a tabletop position. Knees right over hips, legs squeezed together. Hands come behind your head here. Head, neck, and shoulders are still up. Don't give up. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders more if they've dropped. Now really support the weight of your head with your hands. From here, keep your left knee bent. Extend your right leg forward. 45-degree angle with the right leg so it's not hovering above the mat. It's high enough that you can really support the weight of your leg with your abdominals. So feel that right hip and rib engage. From there, take a twist over to your left side. So you're trying to connect the right armpit to your left knee. Really nice. Now really hollow out the waistline here. Then switch to the other side. Right knee comes into your body. Left leg extends forward. You twist your left armpit to your right knee. Switch it again. So every time you're switching, you're trying to deepen that connection to waistline. Go ahead and switch again. Now the breath is the exact same as your single leg stretch. So as you twist, it's an inhale, twist, inhale, exhale, twist, exhale. So you're twisting and breathing and breathing. Really nice, guys. Now in these twists, it's really easy to just fling bones around, fling your body around in space. Let's work on control today. So you're twisting just right underneath the rib cage, right above the hips. It's at your waistline you find that deepest twist. It's also where you'll find the most strength from the obliques. So keep it going. You twist and twist and twist and twist. Your pelvis is steady, so your hips are not rocking side to side. The twist is just happening at the waist. Here we go. It's inhale and inhale, switch exhale and exhale. Let's go for 5 and twist and twist and twist. Last 4. Get those head, neck, and shoulders higher. I can see them dropping. 3. That's a lie, but check in. And 2 and twist and twist and twist. Last 1. Twist, twist, and twist. Now hug your knees into your body. Take your forehead to your knees. Curl yourself into a little ball position. Okay, from here we go into double leg stretch. We'll go into it slow and then speed it up. Your starting position is exactly where you are, hugged into a little ball. Forehead is touching your knees or as close to that as possible, and it's your full exhale breath to come to a point of empty in this little ball. Then on your inhale, you're going to reach your biceps by your ears, your arms overhead. Your legs come forward to that 45-degree position. So the legs again are not hovering over the mat. They're nice, plenty high. Then you should feel your lower back pressed into the mat, the hips sliding up towards the ribs, the abdominal wall hollowed out. This is your inhale breath. Then your exhale, you come back into that little ball. Again, the inhale, the biceps come by the ears, the arms reach up and overhead. Then exhale, curl yourself into a little ball. Let's speed it up. Here we go. It's an inhale, reach, exhale, contract. Inhale, reach, exhale, contract. Even faster if you can. Inhale, reach, exhale, in. Inhale, reach, exhale, in. Reach, curl, and reach, and hollow out. Use that breath. Exhale out. Inhale, exhale. Nice, guys. As you're reaching the arms, really try to stretch through the fingertips, stretch through the toes, and then really just hollow yourself out. Now take your attention to what's happening between the space of the hip and ribs. You should feel like you expand between the hip and ribs on the inhale, then the exhale, you connect the hip and ribs closer to one another. It's a reach and an exhale out. Reach and exhale. You're almost there. Let's take 4 more. You go for 4, engaging throughout the leg muscles, throughout the arm muscles, so it's a full body exercise. Last 2. Exhale 1, hug yourself into a little ball. You can take your head, neck, and shoulders down, drop your feet down onto the mat, relax, reset for just a moment. All right, that moment's up. Go ahead and take your hands right underneath your sacrum bone. That's that hardy bone at the base of your spine. So right where your spine and your glutes would intersect. From here, you're going to refine that supported pelvis, so try to press that lower back into the mat. Things may have changed now that your hands are underneath the sacrum bone, but keep that intention in mind. Now take your right leg into a tabletop position, left leg tabletop position, then extend your legs up to the ceiling, straight back of the legs here. Now, if your hamstrings are tight, it's okay to have a soft bend of the knee, but I would like you to aim for a nice stretched leg. Alrighty, we're going into leg lift and lowers. Your legs will drop down to the 45-degree angle, right where they've been, and then exhale, you'll lift the legs right back up to the ceiling. The inhale is to reach the legs away. The exhale is to lift the legs up. Now you can keep going with this motion as I talk about it for just a moment. So as you're lifting and lowering the legs, you may start to feel the thighs get a little bit heavy. Now ideally, we're so engaged in our core that we're really using our deep hip flexor muscles, our psoas muscle, to find this lift and lower of the legs, and power from your powerhouse, from your core, to lift and lower the legs as well. And the legs can just really, yes, be engaged, they can be active, but they're not gripping, they're not what's mobilizing you here. So with that in mind, let's figure out how to do that. Feel your leg bones squeeze together, feel your pelvic floor lift up and in inside the body. Good. Now feel the space between your hip and ribs stay as connected as possible. Now keep that space between the hip and ribs engaged, the navel sinking into the spine as you reach the legs forward, and then exhale, you bring them back up. Again, inhale, reach, exhale to lift. So focus more on what's going on between pubic bone and navel, hip and ribs, rather than the weight of the legs. Then lastly, if you're still not feeling it, limit that range of motion to make it a little bit smaller. So it would just be a little pulse to lift and lift. So you're really feeling that contraction, again, from base of the pelvis up through the belly. All right, here we go. Let's take a few more. Inhale down, exhale lift, inhale down, and lift. No need to really speed this one up. You get plenty of work in this slow and controlled pace. How about 8 more? We'll go for 8, exhale, lift, and 7, and lift. 6, squeeze those thighs, lift through pelvic floor. You go for 4, shoulders are relaxed. Last 2, put that work in the belly. Last 1, legs are up to the ceiling. You can bend your knees into your belly for just a moment. Take your arms away. So now your arms are nice and free. Fantastic. Now take your legs up to the ceiling one last time. A slight bend of the knee is okay for this one. Now nod your chin to your chest, curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Grab your right hand behind your right calf or behind your right hamstring, whatever flexibility will allow. Drop your left leg to that 45-degree angle. Your navel's pressed into your spine, your lower back is pressed into the mat. We're going into scissors to finish this abdominal work. So from here, you grab your right leg. You're just gonna take a little pulse on it, a little tiny pulse. Switch the legs, grab the left, a little pulse. Switch the legs, a little pulse. You can inhale during the transition and exhale to pulse. Inhale, switch, exhale, pulse. Inhale, switch, exhale, pulse. Now, as you do this, things to keep in mind: the space between the hip and ribs again, the abdominal wall pressing in, the lower back engaged and pressing into the mat. You scissor and scissor and scissor and scissor. Keep going. We'll go for 8, 7, and 6. Scissor 5. Last 4. 3. Curl up a little higher if you can for these last 2. Last 1. Hug the knees into your body. Relax your feet onto the floor. Shake out your knees, shake out your head, shake out the spine, whatever you need to do. Now, before you get too relaxed, we have one more exercise here. It's your back dancing. So take those feet sit bones distance apart, just where we started. Your heels are about a palm's distance away from the seat, so fairly close. You want to make sure you can feel the big toe, pinky toe, and heel root down. Then there's about a fist distance of space between your ankles. Alrighty, hands press energetically into that mat. So feel the back of the shoulders and the triceps press into the mat. Then from there, feel that same supported pelvis. So rock the hip bones up towards the ribs, feel the lower back engage and press into the mat. Now squeeze your bottom, lift your hips up to the ceiling, and just for a moment stay here. Feel your hip bones draw closer to your ribs by squeezing your tush and finding a slight pelvic tuck. Hold that tuck. Now we're going to take a little pulse. So it's tuck and tuck. It's going to be a tiny release of the glute, but we do want to keep the glutes engaged this entire time. So it's a little tuck and tuck. You should actively feel your glutes pinching together, tuck and tuck. Little hollowing out of the belly as you lift the hips towards the ribs. Lift and lift. Now your hamstrings may start to get tired, that's okay, but any cramping, we do want to come down and reset. So if you start to feel a sharp pain in the back of the leg, set your hips down, stretch it out, take a breath, and then rejoin us. Little tucks, little tucks. How about 10 more? Here we go. You'll go for 10, tucking 9, lifting 8, navel in 7. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold those hips up. Now from here, you're going to squeeze your inner thighs in and in and in. You're trying to tap your knees together. That may happen. It may not. Now double time it. Here you go. You go in, in. Squeezing those thighs. Now notice your hips, your pelvis. They should stay steady in space. You're not bouncing up and down with the pelvis. You're nice and stable, and it's just your leg bones moving in. Squeeze your tush actively. Zip through that lower belly. Squeeze 10 more times. Here you go. We go 10, 9, squeezing 8 and 7. You're almost there for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Realign your knees right in line with your hip bones. Your seat is still up away from the floor. Let's go back to that tilt. It's a little tuck and tuck. Hips drawing up to the ribs, navel's in. We've been here before. Keep the glutes squeezing. It's a little pinch and pinch of the glutes. 10 more here. We'll go for 10 and 9, 8, 7. You're almost home for 4 and 3, 2, all the way down, all the way up to finish. You tap your glutes, you lift them up. You tap and lift. Now, as you're re-lifting your hips, make sure you're not just pressing the hip bones up towards the ceiling, but rather you're tucking the pelvis. You're tucking those hip bones. Different action in the body, and it's better for your lower back. I'm just gonna say that. So make sure the glutes stay engaged. You're drawing the hip bones up towards the ribs. You should feel your navel sinking or pressing into the spine, really hollowing out. Again, if you're feeling any crunching or tightness in the lower back, A, try to change your pelvic shape to that tilt. Then B, maybe minimize the range of motion a little bit more and just hold your shoulder bridge up. But keep those glutes engaged. We'll go for 10, all the way down, all the way up. Last 8, 7, nice, guys. Now keep that chest nice and open for these last few. Down and lift, down and lift. 4, 3, 2, hold your hips up on 1. Take a great big inhale breath there. Then exhale, start to lower 1 vertebra at a time, 1 spinal bone down at a time till you're all the way on your back. Go ahead and hug your knees into your body. Give yourself a little squeeze. Then you can start to roll side to side, just onto your back, a little wobble, just to massage out the lower back, opening up through the hips. Fantastic, guys. Now go ahead and lengthen those legs forward in front of you. Take your palms to face open and start to deepen your breath for just a moment. Excellent work today, you guys. Go ahead and just stay where you are for just a moment, legs forward, palms facing up. Just take your awareness to internally what's going on with the body after all that work. How do you feel? Send yourself some love and some gratitude for the work that you put in today, for showing up. One more big breath in and out. Then on your next inhale breath, go ahead and lift that right leg up into your chest and give it a little squeeze, a little hug. Then go ahead and take your left hand to your right knee and find a little twist of your spine. You can take your right knee over to the left side, your right hand out to the right side. Then take your head to face to the right as well, so you're finding a full spinal twist here. No need to force any stretching, no need to yank on joints. Just allow yourself to open up as you deepen your breath. Just relax into the stretch and surrender a little bit more to the twist, to the opening that's happening in the front of the chest and the ribs. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. Huge inhale, huge exhale. On your final breath, go ahead and return back to your back. Squeeze that right leg in one more time, and we'll switch to the other side. Go ahead and hug your left knee into your body. Give it a little squeeze, a little hug. Take your right hand to your left knee, find a little stretch. Left knee comes over to the right side of your body, the left hand reaches out to the left side. You'll take your head over to the left. Then find a few deep breaths here. Every inhale, you're expanding the left side of the ribs. Every exhale, you're surrendering to that twist just a little bit more. Couple more deep breaths here. Then on this next exhale, go ahead and return onto your back. Lengthen your legs forward in front of you. Reach your arms behind you like you're yawning in the morning, a great big inhale. Then you'll start to nod your chin to your chest, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, then come all the way onto your seat, 1 vertebra at a time. Fantastic. Once you've found your way to your seat, go ahead and take the soles of your feet together, the knees wide out to the side for a butterfly stretch. You can gently press the knees down if you'd like, as long as you're grabbing those ankles rather than the toes. Take an inhale to sit tall, and exhale to just round over and stretch over your legs here. Taking your inhales and exhales into the full back of the spine, opening up through the back of the ribs. Every exhale, pressing the legs down just a little bit more, stretching over just a little bit more. Remembering not to force anything, but just let your body open up as it will. It takes time. One more deep breath in here. Then exhale, start to lift your spine up 1 vertebra at a time till you're on your seat. Final stretch, you'll take your legs to cross into a crisscrossed position. Take your right hand beside you, take your left arm up and overhead, and then just take a nice big side stretch over to the right side. You can take your heart to lift up towards the ceiling, opening through the chest. Inhale there. Exhale, return back to your side stretch. Then come back to your nice tall seat and take the other side. The right hand reaches up towards the ceiling. You'll take a side bend over to the left side, opening up through the right side of the body. You can take that heart up to the ceiling, finding just a little twist in the spine, a little opening for the chest. Then return back to your side bend, return back to your tall seat. You can take the palms of your hands to touch together in front of your heart. Sit as tall as you can. Find a great big inhale here. And a huge exhale breath out. Fantastic work today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this workout. For more workouts like this and other eyes-free fitness workouts, go ahead and head over to BlindAlive.com. We'll see you there.
To learn more about BlindAlive and to order our products, visit us on the web at www.blindalive.com. While you're there, check out our blog and podcast. Finally, like us on Facebook and follow @BlindAlive on Twitter.